Hello and welcome back to another weekly recap video. Before we start, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's been watching the videos. I think the last one, we're up to about 6 or 7 views. So that's really good. I'm really happy with the way this channel's going. Definitely the work's paying off, and you're all getting a lot out of it. So I just wanted to say a quick personal thank you for everyone who's watching the videos, everyone who's watching the videos. So yeah, today we're looking at standard form and estimating calculations. And before we get into this, we're just going to have a quick ask ourselves what we want to get at the end of the year. We've only got about 10 weeks left until we get to the exam. Okay, immediately dated this video now, so we'll be able to use it next year. Brilliant. About 10 weeks after the exam, which is about 30 lessons. So obviously you need to start working on that. Obviously, I've put together the 100 questions a day Google Classroom as well, so you're welcome to carry on with that. And I said, if we get through that, you're in a really good position to pass the test. And how are we going to get there? We really need to start doing a bit of outside work. Some people have asked me for topics, and maybe I'll go through some of the topics that we could expect on paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. I think that'll be really useful over the next few weeks. Okay, so we're looking at standard form and estimating calculations today. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Okay, ordinary form. So a few questions about ordinary form. Ordinary form just means a number that is not standard form. So any number you can probably think of is probably in ordinary form. Standard form is written like this. So it's always a decimal at the beginning or a whole number. Then we have times 10 and then a power of 10 after that. So in ordinary form, what I would do is I would write 237, and my point is currently there. So I'm not going to actually write the point, but I know it's there. And what I would do is I would move my point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the point comes to this end here because that's a 5 there. So I'm moving it 5 to the right. And everywhere where I've got a gap, I'm just going to put a 0. So we've got 237,000. Okay, 2.67 times 10 to the power of 2. So I'm going to write 267. And I'm going to move my point from here, 1, 2. So my point goes to there. So here, my answer in ordinary form is 267. Here, we've got 3.54 times 10 to the power of 6. So I'm just going to write 3, 5, 4. And I'm going to move my point from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And fill in these gaps with zeros. And the last one, I've got 191. And I'm going to move it 7 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so what we don't want to fall into the trap of is saying, oh, it's to the power of 7, 10 to the power of 7, it's 7 zeros. It's not 7 zeros, it's from where the point is, 7 to the right. Okay, so it's not 6 zeros, it's from the point and 6 to the right. Okay, so that's for writing big numbers. Let's have a look at some small numbers. So in ordinary form again, I would write 2, 3, 4. And because I'm moving to a negative power of 10, I'm going to move from my point here, I'm going to move 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. So my point goes to there, and I fill in this and this with zeros. But if we've got point something, we have to put something before that. We need to put 0. So you need to put 0 point, and then the zeros we put after that, and then now the number we started with. So here we've got 1.1, so I'll write 1, 1. And I'm moving 4 to the left, so here's my imaginary point. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my points move to there, so I need to put a 0 before that, and 1, 2, 3 zeros after. Okay, 4 zeros in total. Okay, oh, we've got 3.2 times 10 to the 4 again. So 3, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4 to the point, 0 before the point, and 1, 2, 3 zeros after the point. 5, 4, 6. And from here, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the point, and a 0 before that. Okay. So this is how we express a number from standard form into what we call ordinary form. I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see. Okay, to write in standard form, the first thing you have to do, it has to be a number between from 1 but less than 10. Okay, so from 1 less than 10. That's the first number you write. So every time we have to put a decimal place in. So we've got 8100. The first thing I have to do is put the point in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is make this 8.1. The next thing in standard form, we always write this. So once we've got the decimal, we write times 10. Because that bit's always the same. And then the power, it has to be times 10. And then the power is how many numbers there are after the point. So our points here, we've got 1, 2, 3 numbers after the point. So it's the power of 3. It's not how many zeros, like we saw before. It's not just about zeros. It's how many numbers there are after the point we've put in. So the next one, we're going to put the point in. So it's got to be between 1 and 10. So if I put it there, that's 91. That's greater than 10. So I need to put it there. So 9.1 times 10. That bit's always the same. To the power of, here's our point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 9.1 times 10 to the power of 5. Okay, last one. We need to put our point there between the 3 and the 2. It's usually after the first number. So usually you'll put it after the first number. So 3.2, again, times 10 to the power of. So from here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 numbers after the point, so we put our 7 there. Okay. Again, so looking at the small numbers now. Again, it has to be a number between 1 and 10. So we can't be cut. The point can't stay there. It's got to move. The point's got to go between these two, 8 and 7. So 8.7 times 10. The times 10 is always the same. Whenever we're doing standard form, we're always going to put that times 10. And then, right, so now what we need to do is count from the imaginary point we've put in there back to this point and see how many numbers we've got in the way. 1, 2, 3. So from point to point, we've got 3. But because we've moved to the left, it's going to be negative 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be negative 3. Okay, this next one, we're going to put the point between the 5 and the 1. So 5.1. And then we've got times 10. And then we're going to have, so our imaginary points here, we've gone 2 steps over. So it's 2 steps, but it's because it's to the left, it's minus 2. And the last one, we're just going to have 5. Okay, there's no point in there, we don't put 5.0 times 10. So the power of, so our points here, oh no, our points here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 jumps to the left, so it's minus 6. Okay, what you might be able to spot is, when we're writing in standard form, you can count the zeros on the negative ones. See, 3 zeros, 3, 2 zeros, 2, 6 zeros, minus 6. That only works for the negative powers. Do not use that for the big numbers before, because that doesn't work this way. Okay, 2 zeros, that's 3. 4 zeros, that's 5. So it doesn't work that way. It only works for the negative indices. Okay, so that's your standard form. Now we're going to have a quick look at estimating calculations. So this word estimate, if you see that in your exam, make sure that you are not just putting this into your calculator. If you see this word estimate, if the question's got estimate in, and you just put this calculation into your calculator and press equals, or even if you work it all out without a calculator, you still don't get any marks. We need to be estimating, which means we have to round the numbers. So what we're going to do, each number we're going to round, and if you show that you've rounded it, you get some marks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this approximately equal sign, and I'm going to round this. So 48 is approximately equal to 50. 54, this over, I'm going to round again up to, or round down, sorry, to 50. And 13, I'm going to round down to 10. So if I've written out my estimation, that means I've got some marks already. Now I'm just going to calculate this. 50 plus 50 is 100. 100 divided by 10, take 0 off each one. 10 divided by 1 is 10. Okay, 168. So some people might say, I'll round up to 170. Make it the trick to me, or my rule is, I need to be able to do it in my head. If I can't do it in my head, then I'm going to round it even more. So what I might round this to is 200. Just make it easy for myself. And I'm going to round this one to 656. I'm going to round that to 700. Okay. I'm going to round 44 to 40. And I'm going to round 29 to 30. Okay, so now 200 plus 700, I've got 900. And 40 take 30, I've got 10. 900 divided by 10, so 90 divided by 1 is 90. Okay, didn't give myself much space on the slide. Alas. Okay. 5.79. I'm just going to round that 6. 312, I'm going to round to 300. Okay, this is where it gets a bit tricky. 0.523. Some people say, well, I'll round that to 1. Okay, when it's 0.523, because we've got 0 point, we need to keep that 0 point there. Okay, it's the first number we get to, the first significant figure we round to, if you know what that means. So this is going to stay as, or change to, 0.5. So now we've got, on the top, 6 times 300, which is 6 times 3, which is 18, and then 2 zeros. 18 divided by 0.5. What this means is, how many halves are there in 1800? So how many halves are there in 1? Well, that's 2. So really, when we're dividing by a half, basically what we're doing is the same as doubling. So we need to double this. So 1,800 divided by a half is actually 3,600. Okay, that's how many halves there are in 1,800. You may also get this as a written question. So in a theatre, there are 29 rows. In each row, there are 32 seats. Each ticket costs £19.75. Work out the estimate. So that's the key word there, estimate, for the total income from ticket sales. So 29, I'll round that to 30. Okay, so there's 30 rows. Each row has 32 seats. So I'm going to round that down to 30. And each ticket costs £19.75. I'm going to round that to 20. So there's 29 rows. There's 30 rows. I've rounded it to. And each row has 32 seats. So I'm going to do 30 rows multiplied by 30 seats. So 3 times 3 is 9. So that's 900 seats altogether. And each ticket costs £20. So 900 times by 20. So 9 times 2 is 18. And then 1, 2, 3 zeros. So the total estimated revenue is going to be £18,000. Okay, remember, estimate, that key word there, estimate. If you miss that out, you're missing a key chance to get a couple of marks here. It's a really good example where people don't read the question properly and then drop marks. And every mark counts. We really need to be getting these marks where they are obtainable for us. Okay, so that's the end of this week's recap. Again, thank you for all the support. Make sure you are tuning in and watching these when they come out every week. And this is really where you're going to get anything you're missing from lessons if you are out on a trip or you've missed a lesson for whatever reason. If you come to the channel and get yourself caught up. Okay, what we at the end of the year is we want to try and get ourselves that grade 4 or grade 5 if we can get there, or even more. And how are you going to get there? Well, maybe watching these videos, trying that 100 questions challenge, 50 a day. It doesn't take too long. It may take you 15, 20 minutes on some of the easier questions. So trying the 50 a day and getting that done. Okay, thanks.